ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। In this session, we'll be discussing from two verses, the 26th and the 27th verses of the 13th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The 26th verse, Gataswartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhanaha avijñāta gatir jahyat savai dhīra udahritaha. So far, Vidura has been describing the condition of the Dhritarashtra, which is a miserable condition, a degraded life he is leading, not preparing himself for death. Now he is giving a practical solution. What should the Dhritarashtra do? He has already told him, quit home, leave home immediately, and do what? That is going to come in the next few verses. So this 26th verse, the meaning is, he is called undisturbed. Undisturbed means dhira, who goes to an unknown remote place and freed from all obligations, quits his material body when it has become useless. So what is the meaning of this? Going to a remote unknown place and quitting the material body when the body has become useless. That is explained by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. Narottam Das Thakur, a great devotee and acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava sect, has sung, My Lord, I have simply wasted my life. Having obtained the human body, I have neglected to worship your lordship, and therefore I have willingly drunk poison. This is a part of a song written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, one of the previous acharyas. So Srila Prabhupada explains, in other words, the human body is especially meant for cultivating knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, without which life becomes full of anxieties and miserable conditions. Therefore, one who has spoiled his life without such cultural activities is advised to leave home without knowledge of friends and relatives, and being thus freed from all obligations of family, society, country, etc., give up the body at some unknown destination so that others may not know where and how he has met his death. This is the recommendation for somebody who has not taken up devotional service to fully engage in devotional service at the time of old age, before death comes, is the best remedy for facing death and achieving perfection of the human form of life. But if somebody, let us say, has not practiced, not prepared that way, then better to quit home without knowledge of friends and relatives, in such a way that one may give up the body in some unknown place and without the knowledge of anyone else. So Srila Prabhupada further explains, Dhira means one who is not disturbed even when there is sufficient provocation. One cannot give up a comfortable family life due to his affectionate relationship with wife and children. Self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family. And if anyone is at all able to forget such a relation, he is called undisturbed or dhira. To be able to forget that bond of affection for family members and thereby quit home is possible only for a dhira. Dhira means undisturbed. This is, however, the path of renunciation based on a frustrated life. This is for those who are unable to take to devotional service and are experiencing the miserable conditions, especially in old age. But Srila Prabhupada says, this is a recommendation of accepting the path of renunciation based on frustrated life. But stabilization of such renunciation is possible only by association with bona fide saints and self-realized souls, by which one can be engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord. So what is Prabhupada saying here? That you may accept the path of renunciation, giving up the miserable condition of material existence based on experiencing frustration, living such a miserable life. But you cannot become stable and fixed up in that renounced life simply by going away from home and remaining undisturbed. No. You have to positively engage in pure devotional service under the guidance of pure devotees like Vidura. Sincere surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is possible by awakening the transcendental sense of service. This is called awakening of the dormant devotion in the heart. This is made possible by association with pure devotees of the Lord. Sadhu Sangha. Dhritarashtra was lucky enough to have a brother whose very association was a source of liberation for his frustrated life. So Dhritarashtra was very, very fortunate because Vidura specially came to the palace of Hastinapura to deliver Dhritarashtra. In the 27th verse, further instructions are being given by Vidura to Dhritarashtra. The 27th verse is as follows. Yes swakat parato veha jata nirveda atmavan hridi krutva harim gehat pravrajet sa narottamaha. So, the meaning of this particular 27th verse is, he is certainly a first-class man who awakens and understands either by himself or from others the falsity and misery of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the personality of Godhead residing within his heart. So the best course of action for somebody like Dhritarashtra is not simply to leave home and go away to an unknown place, but rather understand the falsity of this material existence by becoming enlightened by hearing from such pure devotees like Vidura, and leave home depending fully on Krishna, who is seated on the heart and always our constant companion, the best well-wisher. And Krishna is ready to give us all directions, give us all strength, give us all facilities for such renounced order of life, renounced way of life. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, there are three classes of transcendentalists, those who have got a spiritual goal in life. The first class is described as the first division of these transcendentalists, three divisions. First division is the dhira, or the one who is not disturbed by being away from family association. The second division of the transcendentalists is one in the renounced order of life is sannyasi by frustrated sentiment. One accepts sannyas or renounced order of life because one is frustrated trying to live a so-called normal life in home. So one goes away from home and accepts the renounced order of life. But this is based on a frustrated sentiment. And the third division of transcendentalist is a sincere devotee of the Lord who awakens God consciousness by hearing and chanting and leaves home depending completely on the personality of Godhead who resides in his heart. This is very important knowledge or understanding for all of us. Krishna resides in our heart as Paramatma, everybody's heart, and he is always there. So he is our topmost well-wisher, he is our best guide, he is most dependable, he is always ready to enlighten us, to guide us, to protect us, to give us strength. So leave home depending on him. So Srila Prabhupada says, the idea is that the renounced order of life after a frustrated life of sentiment in the material world may be the stepping stone on the path of self-realization. But real perfection of the path of liberation is attained when one is practiced to depend fully on the personality of Godhead who lives in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So it is necessary for everyone, regardless of how they plan to quit household life and enter spiritual life. Regardless of that, everyone should prepare themselves to depend fully on Krishna within the heart by learning this from an expert devotee. Learning this from an expert devotee. So Srila Prabhupada says, one may live in the darkest jungle alone out of home, but a steadfast devotee knows very well that he is never alone. How can one understand I am never alone? Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is with him and he can protect his sincere devotee in any awkward circumstance. Who is living in your heart? The Paramatma, the Supreme Lord Krishna. He is supremely powerful. He is a supreme controller. So he can arrange for you, a devotee, he can arrange for his devotee anything the devotee wants, especially when the devotee is striving for self-realization. Krishna can make all arrangements. One should therefore practice devotional service at home, hearing and chanting the holy name, quality, form, pastimes, entourage, etc. in association with pure devotees. And this practice will help one awaken God consciousness in proportion to one's sincerity of purpose. So Prabhupada is giving us directions. If at all you want to be able to fully depend on Krishna towards the end of your life, then begin preparation for it now by associating with devotees and practicing chanting, hearing about Krishna's holy name, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes described in the Bhagavatam, etc. Prepare yourself by this practice, and then Krishna will actually guide you, help you, Krishna will purify you, and you can actually seriously take up Krishna consciousness in this way. One who desires material benefit by such devotional activities can never depend on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although the Supreme Lord is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So to actually depend on Krishna means never to expect or accept any material benefits from devotional service. The materialistic devotees, who are materialistic devotees, they want some material benefit by doing devotional service. They may be blessed by the Lord with material benefits, but they cannot reach the stage of the first class human being as above mentioned. So it is best to practice devotional service before quitting home or before the death comes, and having practiced, actually execute devotional service depending on Krishna in all circumstances, and thereby perfecting one's life. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.